Hey guys, Nathan Brandon Masters, and this is the long-awaited tour of my Cagie Sketchbook. And if you came here from the other channel, you might remember when I bought this. I actually did a review of it. It was something I bought for Inktober actually, but whenever Inktober would come around, I would forget about it, and by the time I remember Inktober, well, it'll be in the middle of the month, and so I just decided I was going to go ahead and use it. I really like this sketchbook. Been wanting to use it for a while. The paperweight on this, 250 GSM. This is the reason I started buying other heavyweight sketchbooks like the Stillman and Burns Zeta series, the Buke sketchbook, which I also reviewed. Both of these are heavyweight sketchbooks with smooth paper. So that's what I'm into right now. Also things like the Strathmore watercolors, like the multimedia sketchbook, the one that's 100% cotton, but it's for multimedia. I like that type of stuff now, so I'm willing to spend a little bit more to get it. So let's get into it. And real quick, you guys know I'm still trying to get my first 1,000 subs. So if you like this kind of content or you like art commentary channels, that's what I do here. So hit that sub button. And I debated whether I wanted to show this sketchbook off or not, because there's like a lot of horrible art in this sketchbook. I do like that drawing of Gary on the first page. He's not in the stories anymore, but there's a lot of this kind of stuff where I just kind of gave up. I don't know if there's a lot, but there's just stuff in here that, and this was from the 100 Heads Challenge. I was doing that in my small Stillman and Burns book, and it kind of carried over. I was still doing heads and stuff in this book. I did. You're gonna see that yellow tape covering spicy bits, so I don't get kicked. My channel doesn't get, or this video doesn't get age restricted. But yeah, there's pages like this where I just gave up, and I don't think there's a lot of those. I don't think there's a lot of pages like that in my other sketchbooks. So like there's a lot of experimental stuff, things where this is ballpoint pen. I was considering doing a comic book in all ballpoint pen, but I wanted like a big pen. I have another ballpoint pen I use. It's the V5 Precise, and that's what the Vampire Girls are drawn with. I really like the Precise, but I was really thinking big pen was what I wanted to do. And now this is the stuff that's actually kind of valuable. You'll see that I started drawing my hair differently, and that kind of started here. And I want to use this type of line work for my manga, where it's more thick and a little bit more what I would consider grimy, especially with like the young lady on the right over there. I want to kind of have that kind of look. So I don't know what it would be called. I kind of call it an underground look. You'll see a lot of ladies that look like this, have hair like this, and you see Damius over here, similar style, and that's all done with the brush pen or brush, and I don't really get to do anything with the G pen. Now this is an abandoned building, like an abandoned interior, and I just went in with my brush pen, and I should have at least penciled it. A lot of stuff you'll see in this book is going to be brush pen, and sometimes I go in directionless and I just start doing things, and I like these drawings here. Fixmaster, there's a decent amount of Fixmaster in this book. This is Blast Rain. He protects the breeders at the Sisterhood of Lilith Breeder Mansion. And of course, you guys know Lauren Talbane. So up here, again, these are just doodles. I was doing some rock formations and again, some ink stuff. So that's just one of those days when I just wanted to get something down on the page. I don't know, because I think I drew both of these pages that same day. So, and here's some more stuff I was just playing around with. And like some of this stuff I really like, and some of this stuff I don't like. I like this. I think this is actually kind of fun. I want to do more with this chick. I almost killed her off. She's not an official character just yet, but I want to keep her. We got a roughneck up here and a chill guy, totally chill, rocking a fro. I was working on a little cross hatching in there too, so I do actually try to pull things together in my sketchbooks. I like stuff like this. You got Damius, more Blast Rain up there, and Patrick, who is a student of Damius. I actually based Patrick on Amazing Randy. Patrick is a stage magician and he debunks charlatans and stuff like that. And then he ended up being attacked by a succubus. He was told to go to Damius to figure out what was going on. You guys know Damius is a succubi mystic. And now Patrick is his student. This is just a girl I drew. She's hiding behind a stone structure. There's literally nothing else to it. Now here's some things that would have benefited with me doing some pencil work. At least this face. I don't even know who I was trying to draw here, but I can see where I started messing up at. And when you see this, that means there was something so bad there that I couldn't tolerate it, and I sure as hell wasn't going to show it off to people. This is just I was just doing a big superhero body, like an image, like a Rob Liefeld image, Jim Lee kind of, how like they used to have those really big dudes. I was just playing around with something like that. This is an exercise a guy was doing on the internet. If I find his video, I'll put it in the description. But what he would do is he would just make shapes with alcohol marker. He'd just make a shape, and then he'd come in with a pen and just start making these robots and mechanical things. It was like, okay, wow, And the more you do, the more intricate they get, and that's literally what happened here. So that was a fun thing to do. And these are some of my newer characters. This is Monica from the Lighthouse Coven, and there's one like an older version of Josh. Josh is Caitlin's boyfriend. Caitlin is one of the succubi in the Dark comic book, and this is kind of another older version of Josh. I kind of blended them when I actually did the characters, kind of like this and the other guy together. I wanted him to have a more rugged look, more like a masculine, square-jawed kind of guy. And you guys, of course, know this is Dominique. And I messed this up because I drew on the back of it with alcohol marker, and I forgot the marker was going to bleed. I didn't expect it to bleed through that much, but it did. And I was going to put this picture in one of my sketchbooks. Like when I published a sketchbook, I was going to put this picture in it. I think I'm going to do it anyway. But maybe I'll clean it up in post, or maybe I'll just leave it like this. And the thing that messed the picture up was this picture of Fixmaster standing in front of this debris, the smoking debris. I had this idea of somebody using a magic bomb and destroying his warehouse, or one of his warehouses, and he's just kind of standing there looking at it. And I don't know why. I was in a Fixmaster mood. I think I was working on the second issue of Dark, and I was just introducing him, so he was kind of on my mind. This is just one of those hoodies that you see advertised all over the place, and this was on Pinterest, and I just added a face in there. I might redraw that and make it Victor Locke, have Victor Locke standing in the shadows, and I did this all in pen. So I saw it and I just drew it, did it. So I like that image, and I like the stuff that's now this is what I'm talking about right here, where I started a thing, it was ugly. I don't know why the hair is starting so close to the face. I draw Eunice a lot. Eunice is one of my favorite villains with the Rise of Magic. He controls the rat demons and stuff like that. I was doing this with a dip pen, and I don't know. I just called it a day. And once I messed up the hair, I was like just kind of done with it. So I think that kind of annoyed me, and I didn't really want to do too much with it, and I just kind of let it go. You see, I was trying to do like a mirror thing, and I just kind of got disgusted. I messed up the face, the hair, and it was kind of matching for a moment, and I don't know. I just, yeah. I enjoyed this though. This is Count Dragon, and I just put yo fake ass. Count Dragon is a neo Nephilim with vampiric powers, so he masquerades as a vampire. At first, he was masquerading as Dracula, and people were like, "You're not Dracula, dude. What are you doing?" And eventually, Dracula found out about it and was like, "Hey, shut that shit down." And so Dragon he didn't want no smoke, so he brought that down. He's now Count Draken, which is a play on his real name, Cain Dragon. But he is a Vampire Alliance member, so there's that. Now this guy is the Hat Man. He's a cryptid. Supposedly, if you take too much Benadryl, you may run into this guy. A lot of people have said to have seen him, and what they can agree on is that he wears a trench coat, white brim hat, and he's creepy. And probably don't want to run into him. Now, I gave him some long hair for some reason. I thought that would add to his vibe. But I'm going to do some more research into him and see how we can drop him into the Night Phoenix Press universe. He'll probably run into Victor Locke Demon Hunter at some point. Now, this is Rhythm Blade, and you remember he attacked Dominique in the first issue of Dark, which, by the way, is a book not for the youngins. He is a priest, technically. He works within the Catholic Church, not particularly for it, and he is part of a group of for-profit demon hunters. They're called the Sanctus Venators, and they just hunt supernatural creatures. They consider all supernatural creatures to be demons, and you pay them, and they'll go after them. Ironically, a lot of magic users will use them to procure blood and tissue from supernatural creatures to use in spell casting. So it's all about the money for them. This is Carell Wren. She is a succubus, and she is Caitlin Wren's sister. At least that's how Fixmaster set up their IDs. This is just a big booty girl that I drew off the top of my head. and who doesn't like drawing a big booty girl? So that's what that is. I would say nothing to see here, but obviously there's a lot to see there. Victor in Decoy. Again, I'm just using the brush pen with carbon black ink in it. These are some drawings I did before I went to bed. I think this guy kind of looks like Barack Obama. But I drew these pages. There wasn't a lot of intent there. I think this was, I did the 3 or 4 pages that day. It started with this one, and then there's one after this. And there's the manga thing I was kind of working on. And so that's like, 5 pages? So I started in a sketching mood, and I just kept going. I think I was getting toward the end of the book, and I just wanted to kind of finish it out and go to the next book. This is Ashley, one of my manga characters, and I'm still working on that style, as you can see. I think I'm going to be doing a little bit more manga in my next sketchbook and fleshing this style out a little bit more, because I can kind of remember what I wanted from this style. And I'm sure you guys can see it's not going to be a straight up manga style as much as it's going to be manga influenced. And I'm really trying to decide whether I want to use the brush pen, or if I do it big, I can use the brush pen. But if I do it on a smaller A4 paper, I would be better off using the G pen. So I'm going to start doing a little bit more of that in my sketchbooks as well. But this is what I'm going for. Between like this and the young lady here, this is the style I'm trying to perfect, if you will. And you can probably tell it's going to be a little bit spicy, but it's not going to be an adults only thing. It's like a 16 plus thing. It might be a little nudity and stuff like that, but not, nothing too wild. But there will probably be some gore, so there's a little bit of that going on. And finally, there's this, and this is just a pose I saw, and I tried to draw it, and I tried to draw it in ink, and that's just what we got. And so this is the final. Actually, this is the first drawing I ever did in this book, and this is when I first got it, and I was testing things out. I was testing various inks and things. This is Sumi ink. That's why it's kind of thick and raised off the page like that. In fact, all of this, I think, is Yasumoto Sumi ink. It's got some alcohol marker. The hair is Blick. This is color pencil. And I use watercolor to color the character herself. So this was done for a review, and I did everything in one shot on this page. And like I said, I really liked this sketchbook, but I think more than anything, I like the paper in it. And I feel like I kind of tried to move this sketchbook along to get to the next sketchbook. I know you can use multiple sketchbooks at once, but I don't like doing that. You know, if it's like a watercolor sketchbook and a regular sketchbook, I could do that. But just mentally, my mind doesn't work like that. It's like you're working in one sketchbook, it's a multimedia sketchbook, which most of my sketchbooks are now because they're all heavyweight paper. And this one had been around for so long, and I didn't want to just keep it around for like another Inktober that I'm gonna miss and end up not using it. So I went ahead and used it, and now I'm actually using the Stillman and Burns, the square bound Stillman Burns. It's a soft cover, like 8x8, and I really like it, but I want to get back to like the big hardcovers. I don't do a lot of traveling where I'm taking sketchbooks around and stuff like that, so I can rock the 8.5 by 11 sketchbooks, and I have like two of them just ready to go. And I also have my Buke sketchbooks, which I haven't touched. And I have like two of them that are pretty much brand new, and there's a lot of pages in those. So those are going to be the sketchbooks I use last. I'm not going to need to buy. Those are great because they're like the Canson. They have a lot of pages, but it's thick paper. So 180 GSM bamboo paper, and both of them are like over 100 pages. One is an A5 and the other is like an 8x8. I also have a cotton Strathmore that I might do a giveaway for, so keep your eye open for that. Other than that, guys, you take it easy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hasta.
Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn.